told you that we're going to go up to Asheville to see them. By pure coincidence, they're planning on a week. We're going to go down to Savannah a couple days after that.
Oh, really?
So they're going to be in Savannah the same weekend we're going.
How cool. Thank you. To come on in, we had a budget meeting before this, so we appreciate council and staff. Right, I'll wait for Coach. We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council meeting for tonight, which is May the 2nd. May is here already. We'll have our invocation, which will be read by, or done by the Reverend Janetha Rice Singleton, Associate Pastor of the Douglasville First United Methodist Church. And after that, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by the Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller. Please stand for the invocation.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. Let us pray. Our gracious God, we pray for our fine city and that you will protect our leaders. God, our prayer tonight is that you will provide our leaders with eagles, people that will help them, oh God, on this journey, that will lift them up when their wings are low, that they will serve, oh God, and know when they need to change positions, that they will help them, dear God, through this journey and let them know that they are not alone. For God, we know as the eagle soars, it needs help, oh God, along the way. And so God, we pray tonight for our leaders that you will continue to guide them and that you will provide those eagles in their lives to help them on this journey. We thank you for this day and for all of the work that they are doing to move your kingdom forward. It is in the magical name of Jesus that we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for leading us in the pledge, and Reverend Singleton, we appreciate your prayer, and we all need support sometimes, so it's a blessing. Thank you. Well, we do have a couple of announcements. I'll read our protocol for the meeting, and then we'll go on with our presentations. I would like to welcome you to the City of Douglasville City Council regular meeting. This is a voting meeting where regular items of agenda, items that were discussed last Thursday will be taken, we'll take action on tonight. My name is Rochelle Robinson. I'm Mayor of the City of Douglasville. And if the business you're here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item, comments from citizens and delegates section for you to discuss your business. Just a few things I'd like to go over, and then we can get right into the meeting. I ask that you please keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make our decisions. The chair, we ask that you will not do personal attacks on any individual or group of individuals. And the chair will ask you not to do that. If you deviate from that a second time, we'll discontinue to speak. We'll turn the microphone off. Just want you to be courteous to each other. Only one person speaking at a time. Please do not applaud or react to the speakers. Speak to the audience or cheer. Carry on conversations with the audience if you're up in front of us making a presentation. I remind you that we're only required to accept public comments on zoning matters. If you have a cell phone or electronic device, we ask that you would please put those in silent mode or turn those off so they will not be disruptive during the meeting. Now, this is how the agenda items will be handled. The committee chairperson will read the agenda item, then that person representing that agenda item or applicant will make his or her presentation. We would have received those presentations last Thursday, but if you have new information, we ask that you would bring it when you come forward for us to vote on that item. Myself or council members will possibly ask clarifying questions to help us make our decisions. After that, the committee chairperson will ask for comments from the audience or statements. There is a time limit. There are 20 minutes for those that are in favor of the item and 20 minutes for those in opposition, and each person has 5 minutes to speak. Before you come forward to speak to us about an agenda item or such, there are cards for speaker cards that you need to sign in with. They're out on the desk. If you would please sign that information and hand it to our city clerk, Ms. Vicki Acker, to my right. And then when you come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. Each person only has one opportunity to speak. This is not a question and answer format or debate. We're just here to hear the information, deliberate, and make our decisions. If you have any printed material, please submit that to the clerk, Ms. Acker, again, and she will make copies and distribute the information to myself and council members. That's all the protocol for tonight. And now we'll move on with our presentations. I do have a proclamation to give to Ms. Rebecca Susie Nichols of the Nichols Center, Inc., for helping families heal through wellness and recovery that she's been doing and the Nichols Center has been doing since 2013. I'll read the proclamation and then we'll have Ms. Nichols come forward and receive the proclamation and make any comments, and then we'll take a picture with the group. So if you'll come forward at this time. Office of the Mayor, Rochelle Robinson, in recognition of the Nichols Center and to remember Kirk Nichols. Whereas the Nichols Center, Inc. was founded in remembrance of Kirk Nichols, who passed away on May 3rd, 2003, as a way to provide support, comfort, and guidance to families who are faced with the loss of a loved one due to an overdose. And whereas the Nichols Center provides peer connection and support for families in Douglas County and surrounding areas for facing mental illness, trauma, substance use disorders, loss, or crisis. And whereas the Nichols Center provides therapies in a safe space for families to find treatment and healing, and providing education and training for families in transition to walk a journey of wellness and recovery. And whereas the Nichols Center provides community programs to connect families in recovery and build a wellness support network. And whereas Rebecca Susie Nichols of the Nichols Center, Inc. has worked diligently to help families heal through wellness and recovery since 2013, based on the loss she has experienced in her own life. Now, therefore, I, Rochelle Robinson, Mayor of the City of Douglasville, and on behalf of the Douglasville City Council and the citizens of the City of Douglasville, do hereby recognize May 3rd as a day of remembrance for Kirk Nichols and encouragement of all council members, staff, and citizens of the city to support and bring awareness to this important nonprofit organization, so proclaimed this second day of May 2022. Let's give her a hand. Would you like to make any comments? You can go to the microphone. We just commend you that you have turned your trouble into triumph and that you help people. You just didn't sit and wallow and get depressed, which, of course, that's normal to do, but that you made something great out of what happened to you to help others. And so that's such a blessing. And we'll ask that you would speak at this time, and you can have people come forward, and we're going to have the council come around and take a photo with you. Can you believe it? It's a surprise.
Yes, very much so.
Yes, ma'am.
I lost him 19 years ago. He was 25.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we had trouble coming to terms with it. And my daughter-in-law started the Nichols Center, and we just have gone on from there. And it has given me hope that I could help other people, because drugs and mental illness and all, they affect everybody. Everybody, the whole family. If somebody's on drugs, the whole family's on drugs. You know, it's addiction. And I wholeheartedly feel for it. I just want to help people that have gone through what I went through.
Yes, ma'am. We so appreciate you giving your heart and soul to help others. It really helps when you bring recognition and shine the light to take the stigma away from addictions and mental illness, because it's just part of life.
Right.
And it's just like, you know, taking medicine for high blood pressure, diabetes. If we need to take medicine to help our brains, it's the same thing. And addiction is a disease, and we have to recognize that and give support and help to each other.
Right.
And you've done that with this center, so we appreciate you so much.
Thank
And I'll open the floor for council members to have anything to say, and then we'll come around and take some pictures. I think Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to say, I've known Susie for a little while, not long, but a little while now. And I've seen firsthand the amazing work that she and Tara Nichols do at the Nichols Center. It's absolutely amazing. She's taken grief and turned it into a power that helps people.
It's given me a new lease on life. It
And
has.
it's, as the mayor, it's kind of like what the mayor said, that, you know, we recognize physical health as a very important part of our lives, but for so many years, we've neglected mental health as being just as important. And the Nichols Center has done simply amazing work and bringing people back from the brink. And I salute you. Thank you so much, Susie, for what you've done.
Thank you.
Oh. Any other comments from council members? All right. Do you mind taking a photo with us, Miss Susie?
Oh, I would love it.
Okay, so whoever you want to come forward, come on forward. We can take a picture together.
If everybody could. All right. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. And one more time. 1, 2, 3.
That's wonderful. We give honor where honor is due. Now we have a presentation by myself to the city clerk and assistant city clerk. Oh, we already did this? It was last week. It's still on here. Let me see. Okay, that's the other one. Let me put this right here. We do it twice, okay? We'll move on then we finish our announcements and presentations, and now we'll move on to number 5 on the agenda, which is, we're talking about the minutes. So I open the floor to approve the minutes of April 14th, 2022, committee meetings, executive session, and legislative work session, and minutes of April 18th, 2022, committee meetings, executive session, and regular meetings. I open the floor for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you so much. I have a motion. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. It's been Moved in second. The motion was made by Councilman Estes and second by Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller to approve the minutes. Do we have any additional comments or questions from council members? Seeing any corrections? If not, all those in favor of approving the minutes as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved as presented. We'll move on then to the consent agenda. I open the floor for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you so much, Councilman Adams. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved and second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Do we have any comments or questions from council members as it relates to the consent agenda? I don't see any. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda is approved. We'll move on then to item number 7, which is Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business at this time under the Economic Development Committee.
Thank you, sir. Finance Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
No business tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Housing and Community Affairs Committee, the vice chair is Councilmember Mark Adams, I believe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one item under Housing and Community Affairs. Authorize the mayor to sign the emergency shelter grant application to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs in support of Vision 21 Concepts Incorporated. Ms. Faye Lattimore.
Okay.
How are you this evening, ma'am?
I'm good. I'm standing in for Faye. I'm Carolyn Pounds.
Could you give us your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, I'm Carolyn Pounds. My address is 7710 Madam McCoy Lane, Winston, 30187.
Thank you very much. You all have in your packets the information concerning this. Is this, I believe this is a repeat grant that we do every year?
Yes, sir.
Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes,
And,
we've been doing it for the last 3 years. You
Yes,
guys
ma'am.
have.
And I believe the date on it needed to be May 1, Madam Mayor, so we need to hurry.
I know it.
Or something. Any questions or comments of council or of Ms. Pounds? Anyone have any comment? Yes, Coach.
Mr. Chairman, I just, as I noticed the date that it had to be signed by, I don't guess that's a problem, March 1st.
May, was it May?
Was
wasn't
it May, I mean, May 1st. May
I believe it was May 1st.
They'll still accept it.
Any other question or comment? Okay. Seeing none then, we appreciate you coming in, Ms. Pounds. It sounds as though there are no comments that the council would like to make, and we appreciate the job that you all are doing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, I make a motion to approve item 22-158.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair. I have a motion to approve 22-158. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Estes. It's been properly moved in second by Councilman Adams and second by Councilmember Estes to approve item 22-158. Do we have any additional comments or questions from councils outside of the May 1st deadline to sign? Not seeing any. All those in favor of approving this item, please say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. 22-158 is unanimously approved.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that we have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vice Chair. We'll move on to Legislative and Intergovernmental Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No business tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Personnel and Organization Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Personnel and Organization.
Thank you, sir. Planning and Development Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
No business tonight under Planning and Development. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Public Improvement and Beautification Committee, chaired by Councilmember Nicole Miller.
No business this evening, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Public Relations Committee, chaired by Councilmember Howard Estes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The PR Committee has no business this evening.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
No business tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Recreation, Culture, and Tourism Committee, chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight in Recreation, Culture, and Tourism.
Thank you, sir. Technology Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business at this time under the Technology Committee.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem, would you please take Transportation Committee as well?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we have no business under the Transportation Committee at this time as well.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other business to come before committees tonight?
I have one item, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Last
Mr. Dawson.
week, council heard a request from the Silverman Group to purchase a sewer easement temporary construction easement across West Pines Golf Course for the sum of $275,000.
Yes, sir.
If it's the will of the council to approve that offer, a motion would be in order authorizing you to sign the necessary documents upon payment of the money.
Yes, sir. So I will put in form of a motion to approve the Silverman deal that our city attorney, Mr. Dotson, has brought forward for $250,000 for. $275,000, I apologize, $275,000 from Mr. Dotson put forward. So open the floor for a motion to approve.
Do we want that under the
Other business?
Parks Committee, or no? Is it
No, we're just going to do it, city manager.
You're doing it on other business, Madam Mayor? Are you making the motion, Mayor Pro Tem?
I will be happy to make the motion that the city accept that offer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We have a motion to accept from the Mayor Pro Tem the motion or the information that our city attorney, Mr. Dawson, has put forward. Do we have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved in second. We do not have to have an agenda item. It's just under other business. City manager?
Yes, ma'am, it'll be fine.
Okay. All those in favor of approving this motion, please. Oh, yes, sir. Question.
Point of order, Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
If I could ask our city attorney just to give us, Mr. Dodson, the uses or potential uses of this money, just so we know and the public knows what we're receiving the funds for, please.
This money is paid to cover the potential damage to the golf course, including damage to fairways, and we may have to rebuild green. The superintendent of the course, Mr. Cartwright, furnished an estimate of damages, which this sum is slightly in excess of his estimate. So it will cover not only damages, but potential loss of revenue to the course while the easement's under construction.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dawson, for that explanation and for the question, Councilman Adams. Do we have any additional comments or questions from council members? We have a clear understanding about this motion. If not, all those in favor of approving this motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The item for the Silverman Group and the golf course has been approved unanimously. So now we'll move on. Mr. Dotson, do you have any other updates?
No business other than that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Attorney Dotson. Our Chief of Police, Chief Sparks?
No business, Madam Mayor.
Don't you have something coming up Saturday, or was this past Saturday?
Oh, yes, we have a music festival coming up Saturday from 10 to 5. Talent show, and the life of people come out. And, we have talent, and come out and show your talent. And also on Wednesday of this week, we'll be down at the Tributary for our command staff meeting. So if anyone wants to come and be a part of our command staff meeting, Wednesday at 10 o'clock at the Tributary, we'll be there. And we'll be going around to other areas in the city doing our command staff meeting. So let them know we'll be coming to you all.
Madam Mayor, Chief, I thought I saw the time 12 to 5. Are you saying it's 10 to 5? Did I write that down?
It's going to, the music will be from 12 to 12.
Okay, okay.
We have some jazz artists and, you know, some food trucks and vendors out there. And we're just going to have a nice day at the police department. One of the main things we do in this thing is to bring people on the campus, and we try to do recruiting as well. We're down about 12 officers.
So this is at PD, Chief? Okay.
All right, so this is part of Chief Sparks' initiative for community policing, is to be accessible to the community, so that, again, to reinforce the time frame, 12 to 5, which is a music talent festival on this Saturday at the police department, and you're doing your command staff meeting at the Tributary. Is it going to be in the, what's the hall, the place is called? The Activity Center. Is it at the Activity Center? Yes. Okay, Activity Center at 10 o'clock in Tributary, but everyone's invited, and you will make this a moving target, per se.
Right, we'll be to all the areas in the city.
Yes, sir.
So we'll be coming around to each one of your districts.
Mm-hmm.
And also we go into some of the businesses as well. So Yes, we get on the wagon train and we go to different places, so people can hear what's going on.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for doing that, Chief. We appreciate that. You have any other announcements? You're doing fine. Thank you so much. Our city manager, Ms. Marcia Hampton. We have the SPLOS. Is that what you're going to present?
Yes, ma'am, and I will be fairly quick because you all have seen this information back in January as a part of your retreat. Chelsea tells me I have to click. She knows I'm not that great with technology. All right. Anticipated SPLOS for 2022, and just to note that this is the draft program. If you all are comfortable with these items, let me know. I will forward this information off to Douglas County. If you're not and we need to revisit, I will add this to your next round of meetings and look for your feedback to add anything to it. As mentioned, we're keeping the same categories but shifting around the percentages. So you will see that public safety increased by 5% and parks and recreation decreased by 5%. So that's your major difference. We just utilized the estimated total of $40 million. That number could go up, that number could go down, but we felt like for right now that that was a safe number to anticipate for a 6-year SPLOS program if we are awarded that funding. In the transportation category, if we do receive if we do allot 45% again, that's estimated $18 million. Those projects would include the Highway 5 bridge at I-20 improvements. I'm finalizing getting that information over to engineering. I know Councilwoman Miller asked for that. I will be getting that from Marcus Thompson to send that over to you all to see what is included in that draft program. Many of those items would have to be included in larger transportation funding from the federal federal government. However, we could utilize our SPLOS funding as a match, as we have done in other federal programs. Bicycle and pedestrian connectivity, we talked a lot about that it would include our sidewalk program. So if you all want to start to implement sidewalks, this is where that funding would come from. Vehicles, we've done a lot of vehicle replacement in our current SPLOS. Our North Side Trail implementation, we're anticipating potentially getting federal money for this as well, so we would utilize our SPLOS program as a match. Of course, continuing our resurfacing program, street light and intersection improvements, club drive improvements that would be in conjunction with the town green, and then of course garbage trucks as a part of our fleet. Any questions on transportation? Moving along to public safety, we've increased those because as you can recall, part of our public safety funding from this current SPLOS is dedicated to fire and EMS that we have not been able to take advantage of because that money is dedicated to the fire department, so we're holding that money in abeyance to them. We have spent a certain amount, but I don't think that we've spent 50% of that as of yet. So we still are holding more than 50% of those funds for Douglas County, but as they spend those funds, they do send us invoices so we can reimburse. We don't anticipate providing any money to fire and EMS through our SPLOS program this time. I am recommending that we do not do that because there are enough significant needs in public safety that we can utilize our funds ourselves, and those things include our command center, driving training facility, upgrading our firing range, improvements to our public safety building. The building has aged. We're over 10 years at this point. Downtown program camera system that we're continuing to improve with our flock system. Of course, always adding vehicles, shop expansion, a Faro computer, our fire alarm system, and LED lights in our parking lot, and that would be a total of $8 million. Any questions on public safety? Next would be Parks and Recreation. We have done a lot of Parks and Recreation improvement in our current SPLOS, so my recommendation is that those funds can be decreased, which would take us to $6 million. Anticipated projects, we have train track improvement, but we know that you all have recommended that track over at Hunter Park be renovated to a natural trail. Our Public Services Department is in the process of updating that trail system. That's going to need continuous improvement, mainly because it is natural surfaces. It's not going to be hard surface, so we know we'll have to continue to update that. There's a pump station needed at West Pines, clubhouse and cart building remodel. just updating some of our playgrounds at Hunter Park. We did talk about some of our wards that have not had park improvements in those districts, and that would include Ward 1 and Ward 5. All of these projects are included in our Parks Master Plan, so that would be potential. We don't have anything identified, but if there is something identified, we would utilize our SPLOST funds to purchase that property. And that also includes any upgrades to Fowler Field, Worthing Park, our putting complex over at West Pines, and a driving complex. We may shift those. I know West Pines has benefited from a significant amount of improvement in this current SPLOST. So as we identify things in the master plan, you all may want to shift. But as of right now, here are our recommendations as it relates to our capital plan. Any questions? City facilities, which are, we do have some new facilities online, but our current facilities are aging. We're looking at increasing that to 20% at $8 million. Almost every facility that came online 10 years or so ago or longer are in the need for potential improvement. So of course that includes this facility. We'll be looking at potentially having to upgrade the carpet. The Hawthorne Center will need additional renovation once we do the Jesse Davis Park improvement. Our public safety complex, the community center, is due for an upgrade. And of course looking at demoing the precinct and then looking at full construction designs for a future city hall. We look at that project being anywhere from a year to about 5 years. So this will take us through the end of the SPLOST so we can look at funding the construction for that program. And that concludes all of the projects that we have listed that we've met with the departments that we would include in our SPLOST program and the categories. If there are things to take off or add, please let me know. If we need to revisit it, I can come back before you. But if not, our draft program is ready to send to Douglas County.
Thank you so much, City Manager. I'm going to open up the floor for questions, but I will just say that this is in response to the meeting that was called from Madam Chair and the Board of with Madam Chair called the meeting in the Board of Commissioners, and representatives of the City Council, the team for SPLOST and LOST, met with the Board of Commissioners last week, and so they've given us a time frame to submit all of our projects, and this is in response to that meeting. And I open the floor for questions. I think I saw Councilman Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ms. Hampton, is there any reason to believe that there would be any pushback on any of these projects or these categories with the county that you're aware of?
I don't think so. Most of our projects, as you can see, they're kind of business as usual projects that we've talked about to our constituents. I would be surprised if there were. I am curious if the county would be looking to maybe partner with us on some projects, i.e. maybe the driving range, the training range that the chief has talked about. There may be some things that I don't know of, but everything that I've included in this is really similar to what we would have in a capital plan. As you all know, we utilize our SPLOST funds as our capital funding source.
You may have just caused a question to come up, and I apologize, Madam Mayor.
No problem.
You don't mention a driver training facility, okay, under the PD, and then you also a driving range renovation at the golf course. Is that for renovation of our driving range that is there?
Yes,
Okay, okay, wanted to make sure. So I appreciate your information. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adams. I think Mayor Pro Tem, I saw you second. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I had a quick, I must have missed what you said. The train track update, what was that covering?
We have the tracks that have been removed from the former train track at Hunter Park. However, mainly because of staffing, we have not been able to get out to really make that a natural course, a natural trail system that we can put around the facility.
That's the trail.
Correct. And it will be something that we have to constantly update because it'll be natural material, so we just have included that in our SPLOST program.
Okay. It is not the train tracks in downtown.
No,
okay,
it's
good.
not. No, we will rework it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Did I see another hand? City Manager,
Yes, ma'am.
couple of things that I wanted to bring up. I'm not certain. I know we had the ribbon cutting last week at Willing Workers, and it was mentioned about the nature trail around there. If maybe we can fence it in, is that? And we do have some latitude in the resources for Parks and Recreation. So that was a recommendation from one of the council members who walked the trail, is that maybe we have it fenced in. And then there was something else. I can't remember right now. But when we finish with that, I wanted you just to bring to the attention the parking in front of Gumbo's, GDOT, and all of that to pin up
So I
lost
sent-
and splost, but just to talk about that, I apologize.
Yes, ma'am. So I sent the email out that I received late Friday from Ruben Colors with the district engineer with GDOT. As stated, if you drove on 78 today, they were striping the road, they were eliminating the parking spaces, so that started early this morning. When I drove in, I suspect that work is gonna continue throughout the week. We did our best through communications and through our public services department to notify all those businesses and anyone that's involved. We have not received any calls that I know of at City Hall or any concerns, but we did our best to notify as quick as possible.
Thank you so much, City Manager, and I just want to publicly say appreciation to GDOT. You know, I did make a phone call based on our conversation maybe a week or so ago, and I know Councilmember Dr. Burdanley asked me to follow through, and this is Commissioner McMurray just kind of acquiescing and trying to help us with our concerns, so we really appreciate that. Okay, any other comments? Yes, sir, Mayor Pro Tem.
This may not be related to what you were talking about, but I did notice there's a solar-powered camera sitting off to the side of the Development Authority facing the parking garage. Is that the flock camera system that we've been talking about?
If it is, we're not gonna tell you at
We
this
don't
moment
tell you where
on
the cameras
TV.
are.
Oh, it's pretty obvious. You can't miss it. Somebody's gonna run into it. It's just.
We'll tell you after the meeting. The chief can get with you.
Sorry about that, but.
No
It's
problem.
okay.
I almost hit it the other day.
Any other comments? Thank you so much, City
Yes,
Manager.
ma'am.
We'll move on then to, we've already done our draft report. Comments from citizens and delegates, if you sustain the meeting. Yes, ma'am. Please come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and we'd love to hear from you. You have 5 minutes to address myself and council.
My name is Cindy Welch. I reside
Yes, ma'am.
at 3002 Concord Way, Douglasville. And I'm not sure this is the right place to do this, but some time ago, you rezoned property for the 3-story mini warehouses on Reservoir Drive. When that was done, we were told that their driveway was going to come out on Reservoir Drive, then they take Reservoir Drive and go Arbor Parkway. Well, there is a driveway from the mini warehouses directly onto Arbor Parkway, and it is about 23 inches from the driveway that comes in from that shopping center that faces Chapel Hill Road. Now, all I can see is someone coming out of that driveway from the shopping center, and there's a lot. I sat down there 2 different days, and there's a lot of people that make a left turn on there. And if somebody's coming out of the mini warehouse area and make a right turn, that's going to be a mess. So I would just like to draw that to your attention to see what can be done. Because they do have a driveway from that area onto Reservoir Drive. So I don't know why they thought they needed that other one. And I mean, it's probably this long from the building. So
Well, we'll have staff look into it. It could be temporary while they're working on it, but City Manager.
I think, if I may add too, if I remember, it's been a while since we saw the site plan, but wasn't that supposed to be a one-way route through the parking lot? So you can turn in there, but you can't come out. That's what I thought I remember, but I could be
I
mistaken.
don't
It's been a while
recall.
since we saw the plan.
that'd be even worse turning in there.
Okay, so we'll just have, thank you, Ms. Welch.
Thank
We'll have
you.
staff look into it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other comments from citizens and delegates? If you'd like to come forward and give us any comments that you have germane to the City of Douglasville business, we welcome you to come to the microphone. Okay, well, I don't see any other citizens coming forward, so I will now open the floor for a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss property disposition.
One
Oh,
final,
I
comment, Madam
apologize.
Manager. To remind folks, I think this week is the farmer's market starting? Is
Oh,
that
it
correct?
does.
Tomorrow?
It
So,
does, from 3 to 7.
Yeah. If Emily, you want to
Ms.
make
Emily, can you come
an announcement
forward?
on that, or? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay. No, that's good, because I know we have signs out there, but we'd love to let citizens know this is, look forward to it every year.
Emily Hardaway, 6695 Church Street. Yes, the farmer's market starts tomorrow in the parking lot of the old police precinct right down the street, and it'll be from 3 to 7, and it will be every Tuesday until the end of October.
Very good. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I can't wait. I hope they have
welcome.
some peaches or something over there.
Yes.
Thank
I think
you.
we might have put out I think that there's information that KDB put out about what vendors will be there
Oh,
tomorrow,
great.
so.
I'm going to look online.
Yeah.
Oh, it is? Very good. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Ms. Emily. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for reminding us about that. That's exciting news for downtown and for everyone around. Any other comments? I apologize. If not, then again, I open the floor for a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss property disposition. Do we need a recess before we go into this? No, because open the floor for. Okay, do we have, I open the floor for a motion. Is there a motion, please? Thank you, Councilman Adams. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Acker, did you get Mr. Estes or Mayor Pro Tem Miller?
Miller.
Which one did you get?
I think she got it.
Oh, Mayor Pro Tem. It's been properly moved and second to adjourn to executive session to discuss property disposition. Do we have any questions or comments from council members? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned to executive